Here's your news for January 20th, 2020. We're starting off with news from Owen Hart, as the memory of the Rocket will never go away. After his death cast a dark shadow over wrestling, Owen's widow Martha has refused ever letting WWE use his name or likeness, but has allowed Dark Side of the Ring to cover her husband's tragedy in Season 2 of their Viceland series. On social media, the account for the Owen Hart Foundation uploaded some images of Martha being interviewed, but it also revealed that Oj, Owen's son, also took part in the very rare interview. There's currently no release date for Season 2 of Dark Side of the Ring, but one thing we do know is that the Owen Hart episode will be must-see TV. We're continuing our look at Tessa Blanchard, as the controversy surrounding her seems to have been dying down recently. That said, the story is getting more traction again now, as text messages, allegedly sent by the Impact World Champion, seems to show Tessa trying to dig up dirt on one of her accusers, Allison Kay. It was Kay that claimed that during a Stardom show, Blanchard used a racial slur against La Rosa Negra, aka the Black Rose, and Negra has also backed up Kay's story and has been one of several stars who have accused Blanchard of being a bully. On social media, Kay posted text message screenshots from a friend, alerting her to an alleged attempt from Blanchard to dig up dirt, and this new development comes days after Tessa issued a statement where she denied using the N-word at La Rosa Negra. On Twitter, Kay said that this attempt to dig up dirt proves that Blanchard hasn't changed over the years, and said that part of the reason she spoke up against Tessa is that there's no dirt on her. The message that Kay's friend received certainly looks like someone is trying to dig up dirt on Allison, though it seems now that any stories about Kay being a bully backstage may not be true. In a later tweet, Kay shared images of a back and forth with a friend who described Tessa as a, quote, comic book villain who wants to get revenge after what Kay has claimed about her. Though this story isn't over just yet, the accusations of bullying have spread into WWE as well. Someone recently came after Mia Yim, comparing Yim's tweets against Zoe Lucas to Blanchard's alleged comments. With that said, Yim and Lucas are actually friends in real life, and only throw shade at each other because they're professional wrestlers, and the HBIC made this clear in a tweet, saying, "It's unfortunate when people purposefully try to ruin others just for fun. Some folks really be reaching. At Zoe Lucas Pro and I bond over Pockies." Lucas herself also confirmed that there's no beef between her and the NXT star, describing Yim as one of the nicest people, proving that there's been no bullying at all by Mia Yim. One star who knows all about going back and forth on Twitter is Roman Reigns, and this week the big dog had some fun at the expense of Goldberg. When a fan asked why Reigns punches a small black pad on the stage, the former Universal Champion said that he didn't want to break his hand, and said that punching the steel stage was as stupid as headbutting a door before a match. This not-so-subtle jab at Goldberg's entrance got the attention of the Hall of Famer, who has admitted to knocking himself silly on the door before a promo in his 2016-2017 run where he forgot his lines. Roman's comments against Goldberg were so out of nowhere that fans have speculated that a match between them may be imminent, possibly at next month's event in Saudi Arabia. In a tweet, Goldberg replied describing his door headbutts as an ESPN moment and said he'll stick to his ways, which worked 99% of the time. If Goldberg is building to a feud with Reigns, his reply didn't show any hostility to the Samoan, so who knows if these two will actually have a match down the line. More news from social media, but this time from the alternate Instagram of Bray Wyatt, which focuses on the Universal Champion's life outside the ring. Recently, Wyatt posted an important message about mental health, as though he's been largely praised for his work as The Fiend, Wyatt still has to deal with negativity, and calmly let fans know that it affects him, though he has family to lean on. Wyatt is certainly a busy man these days thanks to winning the Universal title at Crown Jewel last year, and not only will he face Daniel Bryan in a strap match at the Royal Rumble, but there are also big plans for him at WrestleMania. On to some sad news next, as former enhancement talent Steve Gillespie has died at the age of 56. Working with the WWF in 1992, Gillespie helped put over established stars like Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Kamala, and Papa Shango, and is also notable for his run as Dr. Hannibal in FMW, where he teamed with Dr. Luther. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that Gillespie was involved in the training of Chris Jericho and Lance Storm as well, and also worked in Stampede Wrestling during the 1980s. A two-time CRMW mid-heavyweight champion and three-time CRMW tag champion, Gillespie was found dead in his car, with no details about the cause of his death currently known, and we here at Slat Rock Wrestling would like to send out our deepest condolences to his friends and family at this time. From one sadly deceased star to another now, as the British Bulldog passed away far too soon in May 2002, but for some reason he's never received a WWE Hall of Fame induction. Now, Paige is wanting to change that, and on social media, the former Divas champion commented on whether Davey Boy Smith will join the NWO and Batista this year. The fact that Paige mentioned WWE in her post might help her request get some attention, and time will tell whether Vince McMahon sees it, as the choice of inductees is ultimately down to him. We are focusing on the WWE 24/7 Championship next, as the title was made to attract fans to Raw's third hour, though that idea quickly went away as the title was soon defended all over the show. Last week, Mojo Rawley captured the title, but during a WWE live event in Lafayette over the weekend, his reign came to an end thanks to R-Truth. Like many of Truth's reigns though, this tenure as champion would end in seconds, as Mojo would roll up the rapping superstar to regain the gold before leaving. Since winning the title, Rawley has promised to legitimize the 24/7 Championship as he washes off all the tomfoolery of the belt, and fans will have to see how he continues as champion in this new role. We're switching from the world of TV to music now, as Eminem's new record, Music to Be Murdered By, dropped yesterday and has caused a huge stir online. One of the best songs on the new record is Godzilla, featuring late rapper Juice WRLD, and the song also features some shoutouts to WWE. In the lyrics, Eminem raps about Bobby Heenan and that he wrestles with mania. As the song goes, "I can swallow a bottle of alcohol and I'll feel like Godzilla. Better hit the deck like the card dealer. My whole squad's in here walking around the party, a cross between a zombie apocalypse and Bobby the Brain Heenan, which is probably the same reason I wrestle with mania." One particular fan of the new album is Caleb Braxton, who tweeted about the record and also sent out an Instagram story paying special attention to Godzilla. Not too long ago, there were rumors that the real Slim Shady was going to work on WWE 2K20, though Eminem dodged a bullet there as the game turned into a travesty. With that said, it's nice to see that some pro wrestling references still made it in Music to Be Murdered By. Now, Mandy Rose may be the love interest for Heavy Machinery's Otis, but she's also the object of infatuation of Corey Graves on SmackDown, and though he's with Carmella in real life, he gets paid to talk about how much he loves Rose. Following Rose and Otis's most recent Will They Won't They angle, the Golden Goddess admitted that she's always falling for the heavyweight, leading to a crying emoji by the commentator. Responding, Graves' real-life girlfriend Carmella seemed to indicate that if Rose wants her boyfriend, she might just be able to take him now, as the Staten Island princess clearly understands the kayfabe nature of the angle. It certainly would be cool to see if WWE started a Rose vs. Carmella feud on SmackDown just to see Corey Graves' head explode on TV, as he has to choose between his girlfriend and his Golden Goddess. More women's division news now, and Liv Morgan is back to make Lana's life miserable, and she also has some new ring gear for her quest. At the aforementioned WWE live event in Lafayette, Morgan teamed with Rusev to defeat Bobby Lashley and Lana, and sported some new gear, which has a twist on the checkerboard look she previously had. Morgan's new ring gear got fans talking online, and we'll have to see whether she wears this attire for tonight's Raw, where fans will get to see the mixed tag match take place. Though Morgan made huge waves when she returned during the wedding of Lana and Lashley, she isn't the only big name to come back recently, as Kane returned to Friday Night SmackDown this week to help his old buddy Daniel Bryan. Though the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee is clearly a busy man, Kane didn't wait long for his next appearance, as when WWE came to Knoxville, the Big Red Mayor showed up to a huge ovation by his constituents. Two fans won a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity as they became social media superstars and were gifted with prizes, including Kane's new autobiography detailing both his wrestling and political ventures. Though he wasn't in his ring gear, instead favoring the suit and tie of Mayor Glenn Jacobs, it was still a great surprise for the fans in Knoxville. For return news now, as at the Lafayette show, Kairi Sane returned to the ring for Raw on Friday night. In her first match since TLC, Sane teamed with Asuka and Sarah Logan, but came up short against Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Natalya. In a post, Sane said, "I'm back, I love wrestling, #WWE Lafayette." And if fans can't remember, the Pirate Princess suffered a nasty head injury when the Kabuki Warriors faced Lynch and Charlotte in a tables, ladders, and chairs match in the main event of December's TLC pay-per-view. And now that she's back, we have to wonder what role Sane will play in this Sunday's Raw Women's Championship match between Asuka and The Man. Focusing back on SmackDown now, and WWE hosted another show last week, and that was the penultimate edition of the Blue Show before the Royal Rumble. With WWE needing to cover a lot of ground before the pay-per-view, the company was hoping for fans to tune in, and according to Showbuzz Daily, this week averaged 2.58 million viewers, up from last week's 2.503 million. Breaking the numbers down, the first hour of SmackDown got an impressive 2.616 million viewers tuning in, though this dropped to 2.544 million in Hour 2. The show drew a 0.8 in the coveted 18 to 49 demographic, and it seems that 2020 has been the year of SmackDown, as last week's episode was also up from the January 3rd episode, which did 2.413 million viewers. On the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer said that SmackDown's viewing figures were especially high in the Dallas and Houston area, and that's because people watching were preempted for special coverage of tornadoes in the same area. He said, "There were about 40 minutes in Dallas that did ridiculous ratings, which brought the whole national average up, but it wasn't SmackDown, it was coverage of tornado warnings. I saw these ridiculous numbers in Dallas, Texas, and Houston, and I asked about it. I was like, this isn't making sense, and that's what happened, it wasn't wrestling." Even though what was being aired was live coverage of the tornadoes, SmackDown got the viewership, in a bizarre victory for the show. When the final rating was figured out on Tuesday, those numbers went away, but they did go to boost the initial overnight national rating. And finally today, we're looking at Matt Hardy, as it's clear that WWE isn't using him and he could be on his way out to continue with his own ideas. The Broken Universe character legally belongs to Hardy, and he's been entering new videos into that saga on his YouTube channel, hinting at possibly leaving WWE. In one recent video, Matt said, "I am Matt Hardy and I'm in limbo. I was once broken and then woken. Now I'm not quite sure what I am." Fans know Hardy's contract is up in early March, and thus far, it looks like the former ECW champion is on his way out of the company, where he'll be free to explore the next phase in his character's evolution. After telling some jokes with his boys, Matt proposed that he could become Jokin' Matt Hardy, though this literal dad joke didn't go over too well with his sons. Ever since he created the Broken character in TNA, Matt's career has received a new height of popularity under both his Broken and Woken characters, and if he chooses to leave WWE, he could bring that same erratic character to a new wrestling home.